Hey, hey, Rambo.
Hey, hey,
How's it going?
all good here, you?
All good. All good. I'm feeling rested. I'm feeling rejuvenated. I had a good night's sleep for the first time in a while. I haven't been sleeping very good lately. Maybe stress. Who
I
knows?
haven't really. It's like the heat, though, I think here. I think
I
it's
was
that.
really hot last night. I was like tossing and turning, but I was also too lazy to go do anything about it, to stand up and fiddle with any of the knobs that could have alleviated that. But yeah, it's that summer heat. Is it still sweltering where you are? All I read is about
It
like the
is,
UK heat wave
yeah. It's, well, I
and
won't
y'all
call, I
going
don't know
berserk about 80-degree
when they
temperatures.
started calling it a heat wave every summer. Like, I don't know why it's called a heat wave nowadays.
Because the
Just,
sun's saying hi, it's waving
it's
at
just the
us.
summer, and it's, they never used to call it, oh, it's a heat wave, be careful all the time. Like, make sure you're hydrated. They're getting like texts at work, make sure you're drinking load of water. Did we always do that? Was
Sometimes
it
I feel
always a
like the
thing to
water
make
thing is a
sure you're
scam.
hydrated? The amount of times I've heard that, like, it's crazy.
Do you ever wonder if hydration's a scam? Like if
Yeah,
we,
because when you think about it, like we had these. When I remember summers as a kid, right, they were hotter than this, and there was none of this like. Make sure you take a drink to school. Make sure
I can't
you've
remember
got
drinking
drinks
one sip
packed
of
for
water
school. No.
as a kid. I like literally, I lived on what Capri Sun. I think there might have
Yeah.
been water in those little pouches, maybe, but gun to my head, I couldn't tell you one time I like drank water as a child, like just straight
Same.
up water. Like, no,
Everyone
that's
has
not
them
gonna
water
happen.
tankers now, don't they? Everywhere
Yeah.
you go, kids
Kids
in
have
school,
Stanley Cups, those like $40 little
big, massive
thermoses.
ones. They've all got them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like cool to have one
How
as a
did we
kid
survive
now.
childhood with not a
I
drop?
don't know without any water and without being told to take it to school and without being. well, I've had jobs before where it's been hotter than this and they're not like bringing out water to you and hey, you must drink load of water. I never. I,
Something about it feel like the way that we are kind of subtly and now not so subtly with the trend of these Stanley tumblers and these humongous thermoses that people carry around everywhere. It's so like in fashion. But I feel like there is something nefarious working within. It's like we're being drowned almost like from the inside out. And I mean, I'm just thinking of like our systems, like water, you know, everything goes filters through us, and when we drink water, like there's a whole lot of processes, like when we urinate, you guys know I love talking about beep beep boop boo, my favorite topics, but when we pee, like we are actually ridding ourselves of some vital essences, like truly vital essences. They say like, they call it urine because like you're really in there, you're in there, like you you are in there, all your stuff's in there, and we're kind of, I feel like sometimes we're doing too much. Like we're taking in too much water. We're peeing. We're drinking too much. We're peeing too much. We're this cycle, and then it starts like this crazy cycle of being thirsty. And we've had some discussions. It's been a while, but we've had discussions on the Realize Radio Discord about water fasting. Not necessarily like food fasting, but water fasting, like kind of starving your cells of this precious water, and then seeing how your body reacclimates. And it does, it absolutely will. Like we will adjust
and
to a low water situation.
Water's not enough though now either. You need electrolytes in it as well.
Electrolytes. And that
That's
makes me think of the
new.
computer thing, like the salt cell battery systems. They're just trying to juice us
Like,
up.
when did that start? Electrolytes. It's only the last few years I've heard about that, and then now they're selling them everywhere. Everything's an advert for you need electrolytes. Like, so you not only getting told drink load of water, keep drinking it, you also need to add something to it
And it's
to
just
give you
salt,
your energy or
baby,
something. Yeah.
which is kind of crazy too. Like and salt is so interesting because it's just a rock. It's just a rock. And it's like, who was out there picking up rocks and going, ooh, this rock tastes delicious. Let's use this in all of our food from here on out. Salt as itself is like such an interesting element of our food systems and our body systems, and really everything goes back to salt. But there is something, salt is a energetic property. I mean, it's salt cell batteries. That's how, like, lithium ion batteries, that's the entire EV market is based on salt, baby. It's just salt. Lithium is salt. And, you know, a lot of prescription drugs are just salts. They're literally just salts. It's something, there's something about
And then
it.
there was someone mentioned something on a Joe Rogan show, and then someone said to me, "Oh, you've been having, is it called Celtic salt? Is that what they're calling it? Is
I
that
don't
the new one?"
know.
So
What's this
somebody went
one?
on a Joe Rogan show talking about that. All of a sudden, it's everywhere. People are saying around like, "Oh, yeah, are you on that Celtic salt?"
Is it the new
Like
Himalayan? Is it Himalayan's cooler, younger cousin or something, you know?
everybody, do you know what it reminds me? Everybody's kind of like that Black Mirror episode where the woman's just an advertisement, but that's just everybody. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
everybody's just like
Where all
dropping
of a
the
sudden,
mid conversation, like, "You had Celtic salt, it's so good," you know?
I literally had that situation with like an advertisement peeping through yesterday with my mom. Very strange. Like, I've been wanting to take her on like a little vacation, just a little girls trip. I'm trying to reconnect with her. We've had, you know, without going too far into it, we've had some ups and downs. And then with Tiny passing, I was like, you know what? I really need to just reconnect with my mom and just get rid of any old baggage that I had and whatever. Just like, you know, start over, start fresh and love her for her. And so I've been wanting to take her on just a little trip and us girls go together. And then like, I was kind of kicking around ideas and my mom kind of went quiet for a second. And then out of nowhere, she starts basically like reading the Carnival Cruise like homepage. Like she's giving me like Carnival Cruise advertise. Like she starts, but she's like pretending it's her own speech. She's like starting to read me like off why going on a cruise is so fun. But I can tell she's like reading marketing material, and I'm like, wait, what is happening? I'm like looking over my shoulder. I was, you know, we weren't talking about anything specific, and all of a sudden she just starts like blasting a Carnival Cruise advertisement on our phone. Like, and it was coming through her. It was very strange. There was like this, I just felt, I was like, these aren't her words. Like she's literally reading these from somewhere else. Like Carnival Fun Cruise. It's fun for all sizes. And I'm like, who's speaking? What?
Yeah, that's how I feel like everybody kind of is nowadays. Like I feel like what any conversation I have nowadays is like there's an advert dropped in there.
It's weird. It's exactly like the Black Mirror. I didn't watch that one to the end. Like, just spoiler alert. It's the episode with Rashida Jones, and she has an injury, right? And
Yeah.
she loses basically like kind of her brain, and then they bring her back. But part of the agreement is she will be broadcasting ads from time to time, like just in normal conversation.
And
She'll
then it's
just,
like a Netflix subscription. If you don't want the ads, you have to pay more,
you have
don't
to
you? And
pay
then it's
more.
more, and it kept going up and up. And then
Yeah.
the
What happened at
original
the
one
end?
she had
Spoiler
no longer
alert.
exists. That is just the all adverts now. Do you know, like,
Yeah. I don't know why, but that was one I turned it off early. Not because I don't know if I was getting too spooked out by it or yeah, I don't know. I
it was a
think I
good
was just
one,
like,
that.
I've had enough Black
But
Mirror.
it's
I've
just what
had
like
my
that is just
fill.
what everybody is nowadays. I'm noticing it myself. Like, why is everybody advertising things to me? So yeah, Celtic salt, electrolytes in your water, um,
I got
water
influenced.
constantly drinking water. Like I'm drinking water right now. Do I need it, or I'm programmed to feel like yeah, I need a drink
You
because
don't
it's
need
sunny outside. But as a kid, I didn't do any of that. Like I don't remember. I don't remember it being pushed to drink so much water, and it
We were the
wasn't cool
last of
to
the
have a big water
feral
tank.
kids, you know, like just kind of sent off on our own, come back at dark, you
But
know,
then
just
at the
kind
same
of.
time, they're saying, "Don't drink water. It's full of this, full of that." You know, microplastics in your bottle. And then there's something in
Ooh.
the tins, and then it's just like, what are you meant to drink then? Like you tell us. I don't
Yeah.
drink tap water, but I don't do it because I can smell something in it. I can smell
Yeah.
chlorine in tap water, me. But although this has an expiration date, this bottle of water for whatever reason, because obviously it's
Water gonna go bad.
full of
Drink it while it's hot.
chemicals.
I I just never I have never been a big water drinker. And I'll drink out of the tap. I'm not I don't buy bottle. I don't have like bottles of water at the house to offer anybody. Like if someone asks for a glass of water at my place, they're getting Dallas's finest. They're
I
getting a
never
glass of
remember
Dallas's
water
finest.
smelling. My water smells
They add
like
those
you're in the
smells in.
swimming pool.
That's called water treatment, which we have talked about many, many, many times. And I kind of think that there are some. So treatment is when they take our wastewater, our boop boop beep beep, and then they spin it around and get all the gunk out of there and get all the very valuable good stuff out of there. The stuff we call quote unquote waste is not at all waste. It's highly, highly valuable. They take our waste product, our poo poo pee pee, and they spin it and turn it into money because they sell off our nitrogen. You know, there's all these elements in our waste, and those get sold off to like fertilizer, big fertilizer, and there's a lot of money in treating our doo-doo. But they spin that water around, they put all sorts of chemicals in there, and I think they kind of over-treat water on purpose. I actually think that there's a very simple way to—
More so in the last
Yeah.
few years.
And I think they do it to kind of make us recoil. I kind of think that water is tainted. And I'm thinking too of like the Michigan, the Detroit. Do you remember when like Michigan water, this was many years ago, but there was like this big Flint, Michigan, their water supply went out and it was just like brown goo for an extended period of time, and it was just horrific water in this one very, I guess it was like an underserved area of Michigan, and the people just had to live with this shitty water for a really long time. It was like poisoning everybody, but I don't know how. I'll actually have to go back and look at that whole. It was very lushy at the time, and I need to go back and look into the Flint, Michigan story, because there probably is some little winks in there. But I do think that there's some malfeasance and some manipulation happening in the water that we get out. And I think there's so many simple solutions, and it's like we have all this. We have ocean water covering what 70% of the planet, which is interesting because I just got like this body whatever, like a scan, because I joined a new gym and they did this like free scan, and my body water percentage is like 70 something percent, which is exactly the same percentage as like the earth percentage of water, which I'm like, that's an interesting mirror. How do humans are like 70 something percent water, and so is earth? That's also 70. I'm like, that just seems like a strange as above so below, as within so without, sort of like we are made in our image. There's some like weird fractal of us having the exact same percentage of water as the earth, but I don't know. There's water everywhere, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Like, but I think that the idea that they say we can't use, so we can't use salt water for anything practical. We can't use ocean water for drinking because the process just don't exist yet, which is bullshit, because you can—
Remember him? That Tyson, what's he called? DeGrasse
Neil
Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Was on Joe Rogan. He's like, well, they could take the salt out of the water, but it's too expensive.
Too expensive, which is ridiculous because it's a process I can do in my own kitchen. I can desalinate water in my own kitchen. It takes a minute. You gotta boil it and then capture the steam, and then boil it again, capture the steam, and eventually you'll be left with pure water, and all the impurities will be remnants on whatever container you're using. So you can do it. And if I can do a process at home for free, that means it can be done at scale just so easily. So easily. The idea that expense
when it comes
is part
to
of the equation.
expense, just print some more money.
Just print some more fucking money. We're blowing with water, Starlink blowing up, quote unquote, rockets left and right. We don't have any dollars. We don't have any dollars to heat some salt water. And so practical wise, for the human water supply, yes, please, let's take some of that salty water. For even more practical, agriculture. Farmers can't use salt water. Farmers can't even use it. So they're tapping into our groundwater systems, our horrifically overprocessed modern farming systems and modern irrigation systems are like depleting the ground source water supply. If they could just pump some ocean water and desalinate it, like just use that on the crops. So many issues around water could be solved if we could just figure out, and there's nothing to figure out. It's just doing it. It's just allowing.
It can be done, yeah.
It can be done. It can be done.
We're all drinking the same. Like this bottled water I've got, I believe it is the same as what comes out the tap, but it has different chemicals in it.
Spin it around a couple more times and treat it a couple more times.
It's got all sorts in it when you look on the.
Oh, and they talk about all the minerals that are in there. You're like, yeah. And I love how they always have to tell us like how many like calories are in water. It's like, Okay,
Have you ever
zero.
read,
Still
what's it
zero.
called? Have you ever read Kanga water? There was a big phase of that at one point. Is it Kanga water?
No, never heard of it.
So it's supposed to like rehydrate you faster. There was a little sale a couple years back now. There's like a little sales boost on it where it's everywhere. And the gyms like locally to me all got these machines installed where you pay an extra like seven quid a month on top of your membership where you get this water and it's supposed to do something else. So like I thought I'd try it. Honestly, I left it in my car for one day. The
Yeah.
next day it was all floating with white bits all floating around and it's something
Ew.
had gone in it that wasn't it didn't look right and I've never had it again.
Oh my, did you get your discount for, did you like get your money back for investing in
No,
that
I just that
disgusting
one month
water?
and then I never done it again. But I got pulled into it had all the like the fitness guys going, oh, it's Kanga water, you can go longer in the gym and all that, and it got me.
We had that with coconut water. About
Yeah,
bitch, yeah.
that's another one.
Yeah, coconut water. Like the water of fresh young coconuts is the best hydrating, I certainly took that to heart on my trip to Thailand. I couldn't get enough of them coconuts, but I think I overhydrated in Thailand with
Well,
those
they've
damn
got a new
things. But
water out now, which this is what got me thinking about water. It's
new
on,
water.
it's on in a tin, right, and it's being advertised everywhere. And do you know what it's called? Liquid Death.
Oh, we've had that here. I've never had it. Never had one sip.
No, I haven't. The name puts me off.
Yeah. You know what? Oh my God. Like, okay, is that like, does water make us like, does water make our systems accelerate faster? Like in a way, does it, because like every process our body undergoes, like everything we do, every time we eat, we have to digest. Every time we drink, we have to filter the water through our kidneys and da 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 and da 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 and eliminate all this stuff. Do each of these processes, does that age us faster? Does that like each time we metabolize anything, are we one step closer to death? Like
When do you think it started? This water push. This get yourself a tanker of water, like and
good
carry it around.
question.
When do you think it
Um,
was? Drew, would you say pre 2020 or 2020?
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna look up some things. I think this is a big part of it.
Because
When
another
did the
thought is like when you just said
Stanley
that, like, did we
Cups
all
come out?
die? Are we all dead in 2020?
Yeah.
And is it doing something? Is it something to do with that?
2020 is when the new Stanley Cup started gaining widespread popularity with a significant surge in sales and social media buzz in 2022 and 2023. So there's like a very new push. But when did like you gotta drink a gallon a day, like 64 ounces of water, or I don't know when that started, but I just it was never ever on the table. Like I was never offered water as a child at home. I was never offered water as a child at school. We had water fountains, but it wasn't.
Nobody used them.
No, because they were all slimy and nasty and gross, and all those weirdo kids would like be sucking on them with their full mouths, like over, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Ew, Jeffrey's making out with the water again. Yikes! I'm not gonna drink out of that." And there was always that one kid that was like had the mouth on, like you don't put your mouth on it. You don't put your mouth on it. But I don't know. Like it was just never. Yeah, it was. And somehow we made it through. Somehow
So
we made it through.
if you go back to 2020 with it, so let's say, because I can't remember much before 2020. I was thinking about it today. I can't remember much of my life before 2020. Like, I can remember bits of it. Like, I can remember like little sections of it, but I can't remember
Yeah,
who I was or what it was like. Like,
I feel that, Rambo. I
and
I couldn't
throughout the
tell you one
years.
conversation that I had pre, and I've talked about that. I've always been a talker to my own detriment. But before I was just I have no idea what I was saying. Like I was just repeating stuff
Is
that
it
I would hear on the TV. My political views, they weren't mine. Literally I have no control over my own thoughts. It was all just regurgitation of other people's ideas and until 2020 when I kind of started having like my own resurgence of ideas and things, and I don't know, just
everything just feels weird from 2020. So like you get the water thing, and then it's like when you look at like time and years and stuff, it's like they're not even. It's like they don't feel real anymore. Like how
yeah.
quick they go. Like it's like my childhood felt long, but
Yeah.
well, up till 2020 it felt long. But now it's like, how's it been 5 years already? And
You know what's
it's
interesting? Okay,
weird
so
how I can't remember it before then.
you just brought up time, water and
Did
time, and I've got timekeeping in my notes right here. At clock bell timekeeping is like a little thing that I wrote down because right before we got on, I was looking into the history of horology, which is like the study of timekeeping, and some of the original timekeeping devices were water-based timekeeping. Now we're on like optical time and quartz crystals and nano time and da da da. But like the original, before with in the time of like sundials and things, time measurement would be measured using like these water contraptions, and they're like the way that the water moved was very specific, and they could capture the passage of time based on the passage of water. And I don't know, there's something about water and time that,
did
oh
we?
my gosh, is water what's accelerating our time? Like
Are we in a
everyone's
different time from 2020? Either like a different timeline kind of happened and we jumped somehow, and that's why we can't remember much. I don't know if anyone listening what are your memories like. Obviously, we've got sections we don't. I don't know. So it just feels off from 2020 to me. That
yeah,
with life in general
yeah, it
and
feels.
memories and time and all these new things. Everyone's an advert now.
I
Like,
mean, 2020, like we're far away from it now, 5 years out, and so it feels like kind of a weird distant memory. But it's worth appreciating that in human history, modern human history as we know it, a global stop had literally never happened. It was the first and only time in modern humanity, and I don't know if there was another global thing I don't really believe in history, so we'll take that for what it's worth. But like that has never happened before, like a complete stoppage of human activity. Like the world truly stopped. And that this place being just a buzz, a buzz with activity, a buzz with life, a buzz with motion, 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 motion. And then all of a sudden, it's like the world came to a complete stop. It almost like freeze, you freeze motion, you freeze time. And there's something like with like cryogenically freezing, because like
freeze water.
yeah, water to frozen state, and like when you're in a frozen state, it's like time stands still, right? Like there's something about freezing the human body. Walt Disney's head and body are frozen, and he's going to be reanimated later when we figure out the technology or whatever. But there's something about like preserving temperature and water, and like and ice helps preserve and slow down passage of time somehow. I'm not really making a point, but I do. There's like some connection. I'm feeling some connection. Oh, and back to salt. Salt alters the temperature at which water freezes and boils. But there might be something. I don't know. Now I'm reaching.
Just
Now
yeah, but
my
it's
arm
just
hurts because
something's
I'm
just
reaching.
different, and the more like you think about it, like things have a lot have changed in a weird way. I'm gonna say from 2020, it just feels weird. Like
Yeah.
more, I have other days. Like today's one of them days where I'm like, I was driving home from work. I was like, thinking, things are just weird. So I went into the gym and everybody's just on the phone. It's like everybody's a robot. Like everyone's just on the phone. People driving the bikes, driving the cars. No one's off the phone ever, are they?
Right.
That's another thing that happened was that wasn't. I know everybody's had phones for a good few years now, but it's like they're curling a dumbbell while looking at the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? Riding
Have
a
you
bike down a road whilst on the phone.
Have
Do
you
you
seen
know?
those visualizations where like it's the face that's pulled into the phone? Like it's like you're like connected. It's a drawing, but I've seen it a couple times. But it's like a person's face like extends into the phone, and I don't even know what I'm describing, but I do feel like we have become connected. Like the laser beams coming out of our eyeballs are physical. I feel like we have actually like physical force coming out of our eyes. I've talked about this before, and I do feel like that physical force is being captured and captured as in like trapped, perhaps captured by the phones. Like we have a true physical force coming out of our eyeballs, and we're blasting it towards our phones.
You know what I did today? I've done it a few times, but I overlook over people's shoulders and see what they're actually looking at. And it's
Right.
like opening apps, closing apps, opening the junk mail and the close, swiping it off. They're not actually looking at anything. They're
Ah.
just like clicking on it, to that they have to be
Oh my, I've
using it
done
for
that.
whatever reason.
I've done that. I think it's at times when I have anxiety or when I'm like super bored, I will just open and close the same app over and over, like just and it's like it's muscle memory. It's not even like I'm wanting to see what's on the.
Yeah,
It's
you just
just that
like
I
click
can't.
on your deleted
There's,
box and swipe it off again and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I just clicking around something to do because it's almost like we cannot stand stillness. And even when we are still, like we have to, because you can go like immovable when you're on your phone or a device or something. You just kind of go into this like, catatonic state, but like you're still in motion in a sense of like if you could visualize the energy coming out of your eyeballs, even though your body's at rest, like there is still
Being sucked in.
something being, yeah, sucked in. Yeah, there's
But was
still,
that another 2020 thing again? Like that it's just getting more and more? Because honestly, when I look around, it's hard to see someone who's not on the phone than it is without. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Everyone's just like this everywhere you go.
yeah, yeah. It's very rare to encounter anyone doing anything. I mean, and
Yeah, if you see
driving
10
too,
people in the
people are
street,
driving
nine of them
just,
will be on the phones.
yeah. And I mean, I wish I could say that I don't text and drive. I don't do it all that often, but I've done it. I've picked up, I've done it. And I don't think we should be doing it, but I'll admit I'm an offender. But I look over and I see people legitimately watching TV shows or like legitimately eyes completely off the road on a screen. And even those like the newer cars, the newer like Teslas and
They
I
have
don't know. They
TVs
have
in
the
them,
TV
don't they, for you
in there.
in the dashboard to watch while you're driving?
That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem. But there is something about driving that teaches us. We've talked about this. Driving is a very interesting phenomenon because it reveals to us these automatic processes that can become second nature, very natural, and it can show how our attention and our mind can be doing different things at once. Like once you start driving, you're not like actively thinking about like now I need to put the gas on the gas pedal and now I need to brake and now I need to and now I need to turn the signal. Like a lot of these things are just kind of happening. You're just driving. You're doing it automatically without thinking about it whatsoever.
Autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
be, you become on autopilot, and then you can like because we've become
Are you
adapted to
conscious?
auto,
Do you
you
think you're
kind of go.
conscious at that time? Like it makes me think of that movie, that kids film, that Soul,
Yeah,
where like when they're not conscious in the body and they're just like
I do
in
think
autopilot, the consciousness or the soul goes
I do think
somewhere
that there's a
else.
reason that we are in it. This is interesting too because it's not necessarily about driving itself, but there's lots of things about driving. Even the position that our body takes while we're in the driver's seat of a vehicle, with your arms outstretched and your legs outstretched, kind of in a seated position with your legs out and your arms out. There is a body shape that the human form will take when it is released of all muscle tension. It's called like the natural resting form or something. And we've seen it, like there was this one swimmer who like fainted in the water during the Olympics or something, and she was kind of like floating towards
Oh
the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah, I
And
remember
and
that.
the shape that her body took while she was floating towards the bottom is this shape, is the shape that the human form will take just when you're deceased or unconscious. It just releases all the tensions, and there's this natural resting position that our body takes. And when you're driving, that is a mimic of this resting body position. The angle that your arms are out at on the steering wheel, the angle that your legs are out at on the reaching towards the pedals. It literally is this position. And I think that we are kind of forced into sitting in this position because it prepares us for this rested, subconscious, unconscious body state. There's something about the
Because we've all
positioning
done
of
it,
the
haven't we?
body.
Like,
Oh
how
yeah,
have I just got here?
yeah.
You set off and then you're like, I'm here, but
Yeah,
how
I've
did it
mentioned
get
this
here?
before. My ex-husband, when he was younger and he worked in an office situation, like a more corporate job, he would have to move every year. He would move his apartment. He would move apartments every single year because he would he would get to a point where it became so automatic driving home after work that he would literally arrive in his parking spot and be like, "How did I get here? How like I don't remember leaving." Like he would the hypnosis became so intense that he would arrive home and kind of
And you've talked
be like,
about
"What the
it for
fuck?"
being the white lines on the road as well,
Yeah,
haven't you?
striping. Yeah, I mean it's literally what a magician, not a magician, but what are those called? They're kind of like magicians, but the what are they called when the
Yeah,
hypnotist?
hypnotist.
Yeah, the repetitive. You are getting very very sleepy, and then they wave the little the little pendulum thing at you, and it's
And it's
just
the
that's
black and white, like the tarmac and the
sure is.
lines, do you
It
know?
sure is. There is, and that's no mistake. There is no coincidence that the striping on the roads is the same kind of technique that a hypnotist would undergo and on you in order to get you into this semi-conscious subliminal state of mind of being. Yeah, and I think we do get into you know and who knows? I have some great thoughts when I'm driving. It does kind of allow me to. I feel like shower thoughts and stuff. I get a lot of good thoughts in the shower because you just kind of drift. You're kind of there, but you're also not there, and you can kind of let your mind go. And that's what driving does too. Like it kind of allows you to drift a little mentally. I mean, if as long as you're not one of those hotheads who's like weaving in and out and cutting everybody off because that requires a lot of focus on the task at hand. But I'm a slow driver. I just get in that right lane and cruise, and then I just let my mind wander, and I'm happy as a clam. But I don't know. There's just something about the process of a transportation. And that's another, it's just another psyop somehow. I don't really know what the true purpose is, but we don't need to be undergoing these methodologies of travel. I think, and we've talked about this. I think that there is some sort of on the horizon, some sort of highly efficient travel that we're going to be engaged in that eliminates the need for our individual and public transportation systems as we know it. I think that we're going to have, but these, and we've talked about it too, these public transport systems and the individual transports, like no matter how good of a car you have, you're gonna be rumbled by that road. The vibration of the road, and roads are graded to increase vibration in the car. Like we could have smooth ass roads, but we don't. We don't. They're great. They're graded to give this. There's all sorts of reasons why, and it's usually about water runoff, which is actually interesting because the formula for water runoff on roads is Q equals CIA. Q equals CIA. Watch the water. That's something a civil engineer informed me of that little interesting Q equals CIA, and it has to do with water runoff on the roads. But that's why they have these like like the roughness of the road is, they say, so water can not stand still, can run off and do all its thing during rains. But it's also, it adds to like a level of vibration. And I think we are being jostled at every turn, public, individual transportation, driving in a car, like your body's going rumbling down the road. It's almost like our energy is being loosened, it's like you shake us around and our energy gets loosened and it can be extracted more easily, loosen our loosh, and then once we, it's like we got to be vibrated and then it can be extracted. And I feel like cars, subway, buses, like planes, it's all about this like rumble. It's all, even turbulence, like bumping us around. But like
Talking
there's
about
this.
rumbles. What's the war
Oh,
talk over
I
there?
know it's what we
How's
haven't.
that going?
I don't even care. Couldn't.
It's just non-stop here. That's all there actually is at
Yeah,
the minute here.
yeah.
And
So
like, the
we're
UK needs to be ready. And
Iran. All right. Okay. Ayatollah Khomeini, let's get him out. Let's keep him in. Who knows? I don't care. Like, whatever. Uh,
Yeah, do you know
couldn't
what?
care less.
What is it? Why is it so confusing
Yeah.
of like what it's made to be confusing. Like what's going on? Like nothing's going on, but like what
And they're really
who
trying, we've
who's the
had,
bad guy again?
right.
So like in 2001 you had Bin Laden as the bad guy, then it was like Saddam Hussein,
Yeah.
and then now it's like originally it was everyone support Israel, then it was free Palestine, then now it's Iran. But who's the bad? There's no like figure of who the bad guy is this time. There's
Well,
no bad guy.
Netanyahu, people are saying that he's a bad guy. If you're anti-Israel, then he's a real baddie, Mr. Netanyahu over, the Israelis. But and are we? What is our stake? Is this just another oil thing? I mean, and none of it's real. I don't think that countries really fight each other. Like Iran and Israel, I don't think that there's a true legitimate beef at the top between these two countries. It's all just positioning on a game board with narratives of it's just, again, like heightening, and the timing is interesting with, Israel leading up to this. There was all this like, the Kanye Nazi stuff and like getting the persecution of the Jews kind of back in the limelight, and then now like Israel's involved in all this war. We had this
Remember the Elon
in the highlight, like it's weird. Like we've been
hand and stuff.
yeah. We've been kind of like weirdly primed. Israel kind of came back into, and the plight of Israelis kind of came back into the forefront. I mean, I'm not saying like the Holocaust was an Israeli thing necessarily, because Israel didn't even exist until what, 1947, but Israel is like it represents Judaism. Like it represents it's symbolic more than anything, which is all wars are. It's just these symbolic plays. But I don't know. I do feel like there was some sort of escalation in narratives with all the Nazi stuff that kind of brought us to this point and brought us to like who we're lending our support to, and
who did the guys who put the flags in the bios and stuff? Who they support? I don't even think they know. I think they just change it every day. Like who they're supposed to be. They don't know who they're meant to be.
And is Ukraine
supporting
still going
anymore.
on? Like what's
Yeah,
going
Ukraine's back in today.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Ukraine stuff today coming back.
And they just had NATO in The Hague. Shout out The Hague. I used to live like 10 minutes from there in Wassenaar. And very cool area, but also kind of a spooky energy, like truly like a kind of a dark, spooky, kind of like
bringing
fairy tale
nukes
energy.
into it a lot, aren't they? So they're like, Trump
Nukes are
bombed the
fake.
nuke sites or whatever, and then it's like, no, he didn't. He didn't. It's just,
And
it's
this,
just
this
theater,
this
isn't
is
it?
really all about the Iran's nuclear armament, Israel's nuclear armament. Who's got the nukes? What are they going to do with them? Who's got the enriched uranium? It's one thing to have nuclear capacity, but it's the other thing to have enriched nuclear capacity, who the fuck
And
knows what even that means.
the
And
UK have
nuclear,
got 12
this
nuclear
goes back to water.
bombers or whatever. Yeah.
Because nuclear energy, I mean, at the end of the day, what is it? It's just heating water to steam. It's just boiling water to get steam. That's it. Back to like that's it. That is all of it. Like that is power, baby. Just create like the net of any nuclear plant. They're just bringing water to boil, and from that steam energy, that it goes back. Water is the simplest solution. I mean, in chemistry, they call it like a simple solution. Anything where two things are mixed together, it's called a simple solution. So it's like a science term, but I'm meaning it in the sense of like, I think if we could figure out this damn ocean, if we could just figure out the saltwater element, I think like nearly every ill of human society, water wars, that's going to be the next, that's what they say. Water is the new gold. That's what the the word on the street is, that our water supply is going to be so diminished by global warming or what have you, or even like these wars, people taking over water supplies. That's going to be like the new thing. But it's all just like, it's all just a farce. And it goes back to fossil fuels, the idea that this is, that oil, Texas tea, that it's some sort of like scarcity. Completely bullshit. They're endless supply of oil. It's just someone with their hand on the hose, like controlling supply. And same thing with water. Like the idea of water
It never
scarcity is
stops
the
raining
most,
here, like ever. So
and
even today.
and we can't, and there's people that collect rainwater and they do very simple treatments on the rainwater and use it for everything in their household. And it's like, guys, we can do this. It doesn't, and I think there's so many things that we can actually do on an individual level. And if we can do it as an individual, it absolutely can be done at scale. Absolutely. No, and cost shouldn't even be a question. Like you said, print more money.
Yeah.
Why aren't we
that's it.
why aren't we using the ocean more? And I've talked about this too. Energy source, waves. There literally will never be an end to the waves in the ocean. Why can't we have some sort of wave capture technology that just sits out there, lets the waves hit it, and it gets energy from that? Just think of all the energy, the untapped energy of the freaking ocean. It is a energetic monstrosity out there, just waves crashing left and right constantly. There's literally no end, especially in the deep ocean. I mean, who knows what really goes on out there, past the horizon point. And this is interesting. I think I've talked about this before, but if you were to stand at sea level, which is kind of impossible because, like, if you're 5 foot, you're 5 foot above sea level. So, your height kind of, it doesn't allow you to do this. But if you could put your eyeball at perfect sea level, like on the ground, if you could get to 0.0 sea level and look out at the horizon is exactly 3.14 miles from the observer. That's pi, which is very interesting. If you look it up, it's going to say about 3 miles, or it's going to say about 5 kilometers. But if you really dig into it, and there was one time where I actually did, I went into all this like sea nautics, all this like sea measuring thing, and I got to the actual calculation of it, and it's basically pi. It's 3.14 is how far the human eye can see at sea level. Now, every bit of elevation you go up, whether it's an inch or 100 feet, you get farther vantage point. You can see farther the higher you go up. But if your eyeball's at 0.0 sea level, and it's interesting they call it sea level, I don't know, something there, but it's 3.14. It literally represents pi, the circumference of a circle, or the radius of a circle, and also one of my favorite numbers, 3.14, 413 backwards. Also shout out Lollipop, that's one of her favorite numbers. And we talked about angel numbers on the listener spotlight. Yeah. Thank you, Lindsay. I don't know, there's something so, I think, magical and mystical about the water, and I think it could save, like, we're focusing on the wrong element of water. Like, we're focusing on drinking it, and like that's its only purpose, that's its only utility. Just drink it all, gotta drink it all. But like I think there's other ways that we should be using and interacting with water that are not like constantly consuming it. I don't know. If we got through our childhood without like one drop of water, and I didn't really use sunscreen either as a kid. Like you just kind of.
No, not really. No, I don't. It's one of them things. Again, my mind is kind of gone from 2020. I remember little clips of being, do you know what I mean? Being younger, but it was never water based. It was all it was water fights, but you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, it's not like you were squirting that squirt gun in your mouth or anything. Like, so hydrating.
No. Hydrate, yeah, just hydrate.
Did you ever drink out of the hose? Out of the water hose?
Oh, do you know what? Saying about hose that is the first time I remember we had a hose pipe ban. I don't know what year that was.
Talked about this, maybe. Oh no, that was more recent. Yeah.
We had a hose pipe ban, and that kind of put an end to all where people's parents were listening. That put an end to all the water fights and stuff.
No, that's no fun. I just don't want to. And water fights that as a concept, like. Water, like, let's have a water fight. Like, is that prepping
we didn't have,
us?
Like, water pistols. We had like the washing up liquid bottles.
Yeah, that's fun too. DIY your own little water squirter or water gun. Absolutely, that's the way to do it. Kids will make a toy out of literally anything. That's another magical part of childhood is you can have fun with just about anything if you put your mind to it. Yeah, oh man, the magic of childhood when like literally
That's
anything could be
gone
made
that
into a
now.
toy. I
Like you don't see that
know.
anymore.
Because kids get everything kind of done completely for them. Even with,
And it's
like
digital. Like so,
everything's digital.
we used to
Yeah.
play this game like called Kirby, where you'd throw the ball and hit the curb and it bounce back and all this stuff.
Kirby. I like that. That's cute.
And you don't get that anymore. Now it's all just on the iPad or on the latest game or whatever. You don't actually need to go out. And then there's also you don't go out because everyone's a pedo, so you can't go out.
No.
So it's
You don't
like
get
now
snatched.
you're scared to let the kids out, aren't you? You stay in the house and play on your game, and at least you know you're safe or whatever. But
Yeah, and like the safe spaces, like the idea, like now, I mean, even like with all the focus on like school shooting and stuff, parents don't even feel safe sending their kids to school. Like there's just so much fear baked into childhood now, and I don't
yeah,
know
none
how
of it
much of
with
that
us. It
is,
was like right, come back at
yeah.
7 p.m.
Let us
See
know
ya,
you're
and we'd
still
go out at like
alive if you come back at
9 a.m. in the
dinner.
morning and come back at 7 p.m. That was what we would do. Like
Like I have no idea what my mom did when I was a kid. Like I have no memory. Like I don't know what she was up to. I didn't hang out with her. Like I was on my own. I had like no idea what my parents, what their lives were, like what they did, I just remember childhood as like me being free, me roaming around on my own, me and my brother getting on our bikes and roaming around. And it's like, now
again,
I
it's
feel like
you see,
parents' lives are so intertwined with their kids. It's like they're like a mom, I look at modern moms and all they do is just shuttle their kids from da 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 da, da, and they're so involved. Like my parents never asked me like what my schoolwork was going. Like I never once did they have like an involvement in those. Like I was just did it. You just kind of do it yourself. And
again, it makes me think: when did that happen? When did it happen? What day? One day did his kids just stop going round to the mate? Was it mobile phones?
and when
Because we'd
it's
have to walk
kids,
20 minutes to go and knock on my mate's house to be told, "Oh, he's having his dinner. Come back in an hour."
can Johnny come out and play? No, Johnny's busy. But like kids used to be with it, to have a level of autonomy and independence and figure it outedness, and we were fine, and now it's like kids are treated with kid gloves and can't do anything alone, can't do anything by themselves. And they tell us back in the day kids used to work in the damn coal mines. Can you
Yeah, now
imagine?
they're scared of everything, but
Can you
then so
imagine
are
a
the
kid today trying
parents.
to work in the coal mine? Oh my God. Let's
Like
get the kids back to work.
it's like society nowadays is soft, and it's due to, I think, a lot of it is due to what they see on the internet. It gets
Society is
people.
soft. We were just talking about this on the Realize Radio Discord. There was a side by side of Sean Connery when I think it was Sean Connery, but like James Bond back in the day, a young James Bond, the actor who played him, I think it was Sean Connery, and then an actor today. So it was showing like a picture of Sean Connery at 30 years old playing James Bond, and then this other, he's like a British actor. He looks like he's like 12 years old, but he's also 30. He was in Love Actually. He's got this like red hair. He's always playing like kind of an impish. Anyway, they were just doing this side by side to show what a 30-year-old male looked like back in the 50s, 60s, and then what a 30-year-old male looks like today. And the difference is striking. The 30-year-old male from the 50s looks like a full-grown man. Looks like a man. And then the 30-year-old man from today looks like a soft little boy. And I can attest to that. Like I look around my city, all I see are soft boys. That's all I see. I have not seen a man, like a man, and I have not. I can't tell you how long. I'm looking for scanning for men. Don't see any. Not a man in sight.
Everyone's just, to me, it
Boys,
feels like
like kids,
everyone's
like,
soft,
and these
scared.
men are like 30s and 40s, and they're like they look like children and they act like children. It's very strange, very strange. I have more testosterone than a lot of the men that I meet. I'm like, dude,
So like
get
you
it
get
together.
like the thing of like some people, oh, everything has to be politically correct, and that's just a bullshit as well. But
Mm,
then even in the conspiracy world, that's creating like softies as well. Like, don't eat that, you'll die. Don't drink that. Don't breathe the air, you'll die. Don't. It's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. The conspiracy world is also creating just a load of like
Softies.
Softies, yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah, because be
Yeah.
scared of everything. There's
Soft serve
micro
society.
stuff in there. There's
Yeah.
little micro bots and in there. And,
I know we're so scared of like microplastics and stuff. And
everything.
and the whole microplastic idea, I kind of think that we are plastic. Like even the word plastic is uh, like this is another exploration on the Realize Radio Discord. Just go there and search for the word plastic, and you'll find a whole bevy of these ideas, and I'm exploring more eloquently than I am now. But I do think that we humans, we are kind of a plastic. We we have plastic elements about us already. I think that there are already plastics as defined as you would define a plastic. I think that there our cellulose system. I think that there are some similarities between us and plastic. Our skin plasticity. They even call it plastic surgery. There is something plastic already about us. I kind of argue that we're living dolls. Like we're kind of living dolls. And the idea, like this whole microplastic thing to scare us, I think it's perhaps just a mirror. Oh, there's microplastics found in every human. Well, yeah, it's because we're plastic. You're gonna
But
find it.
yeah, all these like
Let's
there's
blame it on the
like
water
loads
so
of
they don't realize that they're
accounts.
actually dolls.
You
Okay.
don't drink this, don't eat out of this, don't eat that, don't drink that. There's so much of that, yeah. And that's what like I've posted a couple of times. Like I've not met anyone who's like 200 years old who's done it based on what, oh, don't eat this, don't eat that. Like
Right. You always see the video of like the granny who's 110 and she's like smoking and drinking
smoking,
and
drinking,
I
doing
eat bacon
whatever
every
makes them
day.
happy, and
And she's
that's
happy as
the
a
key.
clam. Yeah, she's so happy. Yeah, give this lady another whiskey. She's she deserves it. She's had a long, long life. But and then you hear of like, the founder of Atkins, dead. He gone. He died of a heart attack. Or, so all these,
All
and
these diets
just
and
drop dead. Yeah. Even the word diet has die in it. DIE. Like, okay. Okay. But, on that, like, we talked about how we maybe don't need to be drinking as much water. On the same side, I don't think we need to be eating as much food. And not as like, not as, it's not even part of the obesity conversation. That has nothing to do with it. I just think that as humans, we're working our machines too much. I think that we're like overworking. The consumption element, I think, eats us from the inside out. As we consumed, we are being consumed, like cellularly. We're being our essences, our precious resources of energy, all of the body processes, like they all go into action as we consume water and food, liquids and foods, just consuming anything. And I think that it's even breathing air. Every time we breathe in, it's an oxidation cycle
when
every
you
single
look at that
time.
again, food like that's coming more and
And
more like
oxidation is
the
death. Oxidation equals death.
adverts. Everybody's a food reviewer now. Like,
Mm.
I'm sick of seeing stuff like that come up. Oh, this burger looks nice. It's just a guy from down my street reviewing a burger like anybody cares. But like people do, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like
And like the food
it,
food competitions, great,
it's doing
great.
something. It's like something to your mind, or like so you'll see it. It's like the McDonald's adverts years ago, isn't it? Really, like you see the burger and you kind of want it for whatever reason. I don't know, can't explain it, but it kind of puts it in your mind. Then that you want something,
Yeah, and there's like this weird, like the Ozempic craze, which is that where you are? Like, do they
Yeah,
call it
so it's
Ozempic and all
got
that stuff?
everybody's on it, and what they call it, Monjaro
GLP,
now.
Monjaro.
So they've like now made it here where doctors can give it to you, prescribe it to you, or whatever, right? But I don't understand it, right? So these people that are taking it are likely ones that was saying don't get the COVID jab,
Right. Yeah.
and this whatever it is, it can't be good for you if it stops you from.
It stops the thoughts. That's what's most interesting about it. Is it's like we're seeing it as like a physical shaping drug, like something that shapes you physically.
Everybody's
But
on it. That is one
I don't
thing.
know
Women
anybody
and
who's on
men.
it, but
I
maybe
know loads,
I'm just
women
not really
and
asking
men
the right
who are on
questions.
it.
Yeah, I don't have anybody in my personal life with it, but it's ubiquitous enough to where you can kind of like know about it. But the most significant element of it is that it works on the mind. It quiets that chatter. So a lot of people, I've had this too in different ways, but there's chatter about food, like constantly. Like even when they're not hungry, they're still thinking about food. Like there's something going on in the back of the mind that will, and any addiction has this. Any, whether you're a cigarette smoker or you're fiending for
Is
crack
it
or
dumbing you
whatever,
down then in a way? Is it like blanking your brain out?
it
Like
does something to the brain. It quiets that chatter. And because you think less about it, you gravitate towards it less and you become less. Hunger is way more psychological than it is physical. It's a lot of people don't even know what it feels like to be physically
so
hungry.
now you don't even have to do anything to lose weight, or if you want to lose weight. But again, it
But it
psychologically,
also eats you from the inside out. Like again, like this
yeah,
like people lose. You're not
eating your
just losing fat. It's
brain
eating your
rot
brain.
by
It's
the
eating your
sounds of it. Yeah.
muscles. It's just consuming you. And I'm I do there are breakthroughs in obesity is one of the big ones. It's like why can't we get a magic pill that does this thing? It's so hard. Why can't we solve this one issue with a magic, shoot 'em up or pill or something? Well, it looks like we kind of are like this does seem to be like this revolutionary breakthrough that the society has been waiting for forever to, finally be the thing
Are
to
they
help
going
you
to
lose
come out
weight.
and say, actually, when everybody's on it, and well, as far as I know,
Actually, you're
everybody's,
dead.
yeah,
Actually, you all die.
actually, sorry guys,
Sorry,
but
guys. You're gonna die very soon. You're
yeah,
dead. If you're not dead
yeah.
already, you're
I
dead.
feel like that's got to come from it because it's so popular. Like it's so everybody's on it. You don't have to do anything. What do you do? Just jab yourself and that's it.
And nobody cared about what it was or
Oh
what
no!
the
As long as it
implications.
does lose you weight, yeah, they don't
That's
care.
it.
They could say it had every ingredient of the COVID jab times two or
Yeah.
whatever, and nobody would care. The same people were saying, "Don't take the jab; it's a killer jab." We'll be having that now, do you know? And
Yeah.
that's what it gets me. To be honest, it does.
It also works not just on food though, like it does people with addictions who get on GLP-1, like which is the whatever the street drug
So,
name or what
is it Ozempic or is it Monjaro? Or is that the
they're the
same
same.
thing?
Yeah, they're the same. It's
They
like
have
Tylenol,
both
Motrin.
names.
Yeah, and they're both kind of it's a GLP-1 drug, which someone else in the audience, I'm sure you guys know what the GLP stands for in that element, but it also works like if you people that are on it have said, in addition to helping me lose weight, like I don't even want to drink alcohol anymore. It works on addictions as well, which I think because at a certain point, food can become an addiction. We just don't realize it. We don't realize that
Then
that's
that
what the cycle
also
is.
will become addiction again because
Yeah.
then as soon as you
Oh,
stop taking it, you're gonna need it. Do you know?
oh, what a cycle. Oh my
It's just a
God.
nasty cycle.
Yeah. It is a nasty cycle. And it's such a, yeah. I mean, Oprah, we got Oprah dropping 100 pounds again.
Is
She's
she
been
on
up
it?
and
Has she come out and said
probably.
she's on it?
I've seen picture Oprah's skinny again. So,
Is it
she's kind of
even
the
the same
original.
Oprah?
Exactly. Exactly. It's just, we talked about this, the grand weight fluctuations are just a really clever way of like switching out the base character.
Switching them
It's
out.
like, oh, Oprah looks really different right now. Well, it's because she gained 100 pounds. And you go, oh, okay. Well, she looks really
Who's
different
he?
now too.
Jonah Hill. I seen a picture of him the other
Oh
day.
yeah,
And he's
he's
just
he's
like a
gone up and
It
down.
looks like Eminem in a way.
Interesting.
The Eminem vibes to him.
This is random, but we're talking about base characters, and I was listening to the radio, and they had the director of the film "I'm Not There," which is the Bob Dylan biopic that came out a few years ago. But the director was talking about Bob Dylan's early life, and casually referenced how when Bob Dylan was emerging onto the music scene, how he would disappear from time to time. Like he would just disappear from the limelight and then reemerge a couple of months later and have a totally new look, wink, have a totally new sound, wink. Like he said the words, he would look like a different person. It was almost like a different person. And it's like, dude, that's it. Like Bob, and if you look at pictures of Bob Dylan throughout his life, it's a different guy playing the character in various roles, or a different gal, whatever. It's a different bass under there playing the role of Bob Dylan over a few cycles of life. And I think that was a huge wink, when he literally described exactly what we have been talking about for so long, the disappearance and the reemergence and they look different. And there's all these reasons of why you can explain it away. And it's just very normalized how these
They
celebrities
always use
look
weight, don't they? A weight
unrecognizable.
gain and a weight loss.
It's a
Like
very common
Adele,
one.
Conor
Yeah.
McGregor, he's another one.
Yeah. Yeah, though it's because it can, it's very transformative and it can make you look like a different person to have a radical shift in your body weight. It can. And so I think it's just a really clever device. It's a really clever trick and tactic to kind of, you just kind of put the new bass actor out on the stage without raising too many eyebrows or ringing too many alarm bells. Ooh, bell. Back to timekeeping. I wrote down the etymology of clock is bell. Clock means bell, which is kind of interesting because, like, clocks ring chimes, but bell means clock. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. In my mind, there's some sort of weird chicken egg sort of situation with clock meaning bell, but I don't know. Yeah, there's jumping to it. But we'll keep our eye on the World War III. I have no interest. I have no.
There's a countdown to the ceasefire. Do you know what? As well, what got me is like, it was like the other 2 nights ago, just a sea of memes just coming, non-stop memes was just everywhere I looked.
Yeah. And
Like all
the meme
Instagram, Twitter.
generators, it's not human.
It
It's not
can't,
human.
it
It can't
can't
be.
be. It's like they've just, right, press the meme, the war memes, boom.
Yeah.
Just war memes everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to Randism for holding down our meme page and Anticoviat. She's been adding some fun memes too. Yeah. Our meme pages on the Realize Radio Discord is, is pretty excellent. That's like the most added to page. And we always get like a fresh crop of memes every single day. So thank you everyone who contributes to the meme page for keeping us up to date on meme culture. Because I do think that, it's a new communication system and it's a new transmission system coming through memes, and I don't think it's human. I think it's something to keep an eye on, and I don't know, something to it. It's our newest form of propagation of propaganda. Is through memes and stuff. So anyway, very interesting. Culture is always evolving, and we got to keep pace with it.
Keep pace.
Well, Rambo, this was good, and thank you everyone. Thank you, Lindsay, for coming back on and being our listener spotlight for this month. I'm glad we we'll be getting those going on a more regular basis. So I'm looking forward to kind of reigniting that element of our show and of the community. So thanks everybody. Thanks Rambo. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Talk soon.